Peace, peace. We live? Okay. Peace, peace. I'm just waiting on Father Frontline to check in, but you know what time it is. Oh, there go YB right there. See, right before that's funny. I was about to get into it. There they go.
Yo.
What's good?
You know me chilling, man. We just had the gym for the first time. So I'm over here. I was hyped about that. But besides that, I'm cooling, man. How you?
Yeah, same old, man, same old. But like, so what was the gym feel like?
It was just good. It was just nice to be back. It wasn't that. I had one girl in there, and then like it was like 5 boys. It wasn't the same. You know what I mean? Usually the gym is jam packed. You know, a lot of my alumni is asking, like I posted it on Instagram. A lot of our alumni was like, "Yo, coach, can we pull up?" And I'm like, usually we like, yeah, but it's just a whole different feel. I just, it's hard to keep the family together and the community together with the restrictions. But I'm just happy we just got to be back in the gym. It's been a year, literally.
Man,
what's up, Rasta?
Father Frontline.
You heard?
Rastafari.
You heard this? This is just one of my kufis. You heard? I got a kufi for every day of the week. That's how I'm on it. You heard? You know what I'm saying? So don't be surprised if you see the kufi matching the kicks. You heard? That's how I'm on it.
Respect.
Yo, that's what's up, man. I finally got I did a little something in my hair. I can't really reveal it right now, but I finally did something to it. You know, I'll reveal it a little bit later.
Okay, that's why. That's why it's just under there. The nutrients is just out under there.
It's soaked in right now.
I understand. It's marinating. I gotta be mindful of my language. That's why I was just doing the hand gestures. I ain't want to get too crazy, but I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Oh man, I needed that laugh. Today was crazy. Yeah, man.
What's going on with you, man?
It's just a lot in the air, man. You know, I try to always be light about it, but you know, you got a public health crisis first and foremost. You know, mental health is going to be high up in the list of concerns, and you know, in education, you deal with that frontline stuff, so it's tough to see it popping up. Like, man.
Yeah, man. A lot of people is not mentally, I want to say mentally strong. I want to say that, but it's just, you know, when you got this big shift in people's lives, man, like some people can't handle it. And I've seen a lot of people go crazy, man. Like it's sad. It's sad to see, but I'm like, I understand, like your regular routine got just disrupted and now you got to figure things out. So like a lot of people, man, just even towards me, like they'll black out. And I'll be like, you know what? I understand. Like it's a pandemic and people's just extra tight. So any little thing is going to trigger them.
Damn.
Nah, it's sad, man.
Yeah.
I really feel bad for the kids, man. I can't wrap my head around that. My fault.
No, I was just saying, like, I think feeling bad for the kids is good. I mean, it's understandable, but I also think that I had to tell a kid today, like, yo, like, though you are the student, yo, you're not the only one going through something. Though that's a lot to levy on a kid sometimes, depending on who you're talking to. You got to be able to have those conversations because, like, yo, yeah, he was like, yo, why are people hitting me up on my birthday? Yo, this is bullshit, coach. I'm like, well, listen, how long was they trying to get in contact with you? For weeks. And so like they just hit you on your birthday. They've been hitting you every day. It just so happened that your birthday lands on a work day. And so they hit you on your birthday, and now this is the message that your mom saw. Now she is jamming your whole birthday vibes up. I get it. But ultimately you gotta be upset at yourself. But I was like, yo, you're not the only one having a hard time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and though it may be hard for a kid to hear that, because you know, a teacher's experience may be hard, but it may not necessarily be what a kid is going through. But I was like, yo, this is a struggle for everybody. And I think you gotta bring the students to a place to really they can understand that, or at least try to hear it. Because I think it changed the dynamic of the conversation a little bit. Just like your tag, like that's valid. You know what I'm saying? Like even though I'm tight, but like damn, like this how hard is it? Cause I had this class today. I said, I ain't gonna be front. I said honestly, y'all, talking to black screens today, for me, for my emotional stability, it's not gonna be good. So I need y'all to turn your cameras on today. Usually I let y'all rock, but for me, talking to a black screen, I'm not getting no energy off of that. And I said, like, Zoe, I don't want to bombard you and take some of the control, the little control you have away. I said, for this class to work today, I need y'all to meet me in the middle. Y'all don't gotta talk, them cameras gotta be on. I said, imagine if you were a teacher, you just talking to them black screens. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that don't feel good, especially, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, yo, tag, like, and now you talking to this black screen, you begging people to have a conversation. You in your private chat DMs asking people, okay, what do you think? What do you think about this? Like nobody wants to, you know what I'm saying? Like that's hard for an educator. And so I think that students, when you can try to humanize, you know, the teachers, not necessarily the system, that like, yo, everybody's going through something that they've never gone through this year. It kind of makes the conversation easier. But again, it's a hard time. It's a hard time for kids.
I think you're just giving them the like you're doing the right thing, right? Me and you and Coach, we giving them the tools to survive through all this because we lived life long enough where we haven't been to necessarily something like this, but we've been through things that are similar. So we just have to give them the tools to be like, you know, stay motivated. Like I try to keep my girls motivated. You know, I'm like, yo, let's, you know what I mean? That's the hard part. It's like, yo, I'm trying to give them more resources and stuff like that. Like, yo, more opportunities to work on themselves. And they're always constantly hitting me up because they want to, you know, and I'm like, damn, man, I don't got it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when it's like gym space, I'm like, damn, I don't really got it. Like, I'm the middleman in all this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if I had it, all of y'all be on. You know what I'm saying? But I don't got it. So it's like one of those things where it's like, damn, man, if I had it, it'll put all these kids in a whole other headspace. You know? G, what up?
What's good?
So,
Lord.
y'all sports, it's Glory. Is sports starting up? Like, are they doing a season? I'm hearing kids telling me that they're actually having they're gonna have a summer season, and then next year they want outdoor. They want fall sports to be outdoors.
So as far as I'm concerned, and I haven't spoke with like my basketball coach or athletic director, PSAL hasn't made an official statement on what it's going to actually look like. I think right now it's like everybody kind of just throwing their 2 cents in there. I think there's people who kind of like think are recommended that it's going to be certain things, but right now there isn't anything. The last thing that I saw that they basically came up with a list of like your low, moderate, and what high risk sports, and what those sports are going to be detailed as. But I don't think there has an actual plan for New York City public schools at this point in terms of what a season will look like. So I mean, I think school starts. Today was the first day in person, so I would probably say in reality, like if I were guessing, and like I said, has no facts at all, I would probably say sports would start on a like official capacity sometime first week in April, probably right after spring break. In my head, they should probably just do spring sports. Because these are the kids that didn't get sports last year. They lost their spring season last year. So give them a season this year. And then from there, it sucks. But like your fall and winter sports probably won't have a season because it just won't, like you don't have enough space. You don't have time. You don't have the resources to have all these referees and places for them. So at that point, if I was a PSAL, I would probably do like exposure events for seniors for all the other sports. So exposure events for basketball, football, whatever it may be. So that way these kids can get some type of exposure to potentially playing college sports. And then from there, start planning for what next year is going to look like, because who knows what next year is actually going to look like. But who knows? Like I've heard like the whole, like it going into like the summer. I don't know how that plays into effect, because then you have to start factoring in like what kids' grades are, like I know at some time, like the PSL looks at like attendance policy. So if it's in the summer, like what's the actual attendance policy going to be for these kids that?
Hold on, Glory. Before I'm gonna let you finish, but young man, what did you have for breakfast today?
Who?
You, Glory.
I had some water and some fruit.
Yo, you sound real clear right now. Let me tell you. If I got anything to do with PSAL sports, I'm like, yo, somebody hire this young man. Breakfast is righteous. Word.
But no, yes, I just don't. I don't know what it looks like for the summer. Because, like I said, you got to start factoring in attendance policy, grades. You're now telling these coaches who typically might not necessarily be engaged during the summer that they now got to be engaged in coaching this team. So it's a lot of factors. If it was me, I would give the kids a spring season, and then set up exposure events so that way that the seniors that missed out on their seasons, whether it's fall or winter, they get some sort of exposure, and then hopefully next year you get to go back to what a normal PSAL season looks like.
You got to be mindful. You got to be mindful, you know what I'm saying, with this exposure camps in the midst of COVID. You got to be, you know what I'm saying, like that sound. You know what I mean?
Athletic exposure camps.
Yeah.
Probably like you can break them up into different boroughs so that way you don't got all the kids at one spot. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can find city colleges within all 5 boroughs that can, showcase, right? That's the better word. And all 5 boroughs and have them at those colleges, and you do all kind of stuff like live stream them so coaches can actually see them, so coaches don't have to travel in person. Like, I mean, creative ways to get around it. But yeah, that would be me.
So keeping it on sports, somebody who's a supreme advocate and leader in regards to, you know, supporting and uplifting women, specifically women of color, Glory. How you feel about, and not just Glory, how do you feel about the what happened at the NCAA? I spoke to a lot of young ladies who were disgusted with that standard dumbbells that was given to them in comparison to the whole gym facility for the men. How do you think the NCAA is going to respond to that? And more so, do you think that will have a trickle down effect on PSAL and programming for women at the high school level? And YB, more so YB too, because YB, like you are a young woman's coach. I mean, what do you think about that?
I mean, it's not like, this is not news, right? It's terrible. And one of the biggest reasons why I was like, you know what, I'm gonna focus on young ladies was because I feel like there wasn't coaches out there that were really, really dedicated to young ladies like they were with the young fellas, right? And so I was like, you know what, I want to bring that same energy to girls athletics, because I'm like, they work. I feel like they work just as hard as the fellas, and they want to be, you know, the best that they could be. So me seeing that wasn't a surprise. I just wanted more people to be aware of it, because it's like, you know, they get underpaid in the WNBA. You saw the picture of their whole gym. It was just like, it don't make sense, because these young ladies work just as hard. They have to go the same route like the fellas got to go, but they don't got the resources. So they got to work extra hard, which is, you know, it's not fair. It's not fair. They should be able to at least work out with the same machines that the fellas are working out with. But it's just crazy to me. And it is disgusting.
I didn't see this. I didn't see the story. I don't know what happened.
So it was a video of the boys' workout room in, I believe they're in some hotel over here downtown, and it was a workout room. They showed the men's workout room, which had everything, literally everything, and they showed the girls' workout room, which had dumbbells, just dumbbells. That was it. No nothing, just dumbbells. Like the men had everything. They got pull-up bars, treadmills, everything.
The best comparison would be like if you walked into like an Equinox and that's what the men's had, and then if you walked into like a a hotel, like a Motel 6, like weight room, how they might just have like a two
Like
treadmills.
5 pound
Yeah, that was it.
dumbbells.
It was horrible.
You
Yeah.
gotta do
Hey.
mad circuits, yo, mad circuits.
All right, so
That worked.
Gonna be there forever.
So can I tap in on this? Because much like my guy YB, you know, I focus more so on the girls than even the boys. Like I don't even watch as much men's basketball now just because I don't have the time. I think this was intentional. Like this was not done by mistake, man. This shit right here, it was a marketing ploy. You got to think about the times that are going on right now. You think they're gonna drop the ball like that, bro, on men's and women's basketball to make it that? Like you said, like it wasn't like it was even close. It was like absolutely like it was like a rack with like a table in there, like. But now think about it. It's become a story. You see what I'm saying? Like the women's NCAA wasn't enough of a story, but now this brings the women's part of March Madness into the focus. So now people are looking in and they're watching and they're cheering. You have people who had no real tie to NCAA women's basketball who now, because of this incident, are now looking at women's NCAA basketball and they're cheering for the women. You see what I'm saying? For me, this was absolutely not done, like no mistake. Like this was done intentionally to take advantage. Like they didn't mind the heat because they knew they would be able to just make up for it. Like how easy is it for them now to just go say, you know what, gyms are barely being used. They can go to Equinox and just say, "Oh, give me your whole Equinox. We're gonna give it to the ladies." You see what I'm saying? They can go to the NBA team, and make the ladies facility. They can do that right now and correct it because no one's gonna stop the tournament. No one's gonna stop the checks from being cut. But now they just got a great thing, and it's really like a minuscule thing. It's not like a pay scandal. It's not like it's a sexual harassment scandal. It's a weight room scandal. And like, you know what I mean? And so it's something that brings attention. It's very easy for them to remedy. And then now they can actually go and probably already had some bread that they was planning on giving the women. But now guess what? Now they're going to be able to give the women that bread under this new spotlight. Where before, if they had just went and upgraded the women's game, a lot of people wouldn't have even known about it, except for the people who follow the women's game closely. But now they were already planning on upgrading the women's game just because the pressure has been there just in society anyways. But now they're going to be able to do that same thing, but they're going to be under the spotlight. Everybody, all these uninterested parties are now going to be paying attention to the game. So while it's definitely a twisted way of getting things done, I think that net, this is actually going to benefit the college women's game, as opposed to it being like a net negative for the women. Because at the end of the day, they're going to get attention. They're going to get the weights that they ultimately want. You see what I'm saying? But now they're going to get attention to the game and during the tournament that they would have necessarily got had this not happened. So I think this was completely intentional by NCAA and actually quite a savvy move if you want to look at it from a strategy and marketing piece.
Super savvy. Clean. A weight room scandal. That's just
yo, James, you gotta go see like the difference in the weight rooms. You gotta be like, oh, come on, boy, yo. Like who, like, yo, it's like super intentional, yo. I just can't see it any other way, yo.
So what's the pulse of the, like what's the people y'all around? What's the energy like? People up, people down? Like what's it like? What's it like around?
I mean, I just had a crazy week, bro. You know what I'm saying? Last week, you know what I'm saying? My mom's health was like really on the brink, you know what I mean? All last week. And so long story short, she just barely made it through on Sunday morning. You know what I'm saying? And so last week my energy was super sad and nervous and worried, but right now I'm actually riding the high, you know what I mean? Because Glory knows intimately and Ian as well. You know what I mean? Mom's was on the line, but she fought back. And so Right now, around me, everybody's on the high because the whole family was on tap. You know what I mean? And so it's good feeling. The weather's good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Well, prayers going straight up.
appreciate
Man,
it.
of course.
Prayers up to your moms for real.
Appreciate it.
My energy, people around me and my bro Rel, we trying to keep the school spirit alive over here, especially sports wise. And they just kind of canceled sports over here for middle school because two of the biggest middle schools in our district kind of they didn't want to buy into joining the sports program. So the people that ran the whole athletic thing, they just kind of dubbed it. So me and Rel are just trying to figure out like a way to, do our own tournament or something to keep these kids, in the loop. We just got the gym. We just had a fight for the gym. So we got the gym for the rest of the year, but it's just, we just practicing, but it's hard to motivate kids with just practice and there's no game. Like there's nothing to play for, so, but everybody's trying to get us back to normal or something. I don't know. I'm trying to stay upbeat, take a day at a time.
Yeah, I mean it'll definitely work out. It's just how it works out. That's on another timing. Yeah. What about you, Father Frontline? What it look like? Word.
Yeah, you know me, I'm good, man. And I woke up this morning. I'm stuck in the grind, so like, ain't too much to get me off my Dean. So everything that's moving, it's been moving. Everything that's still is still. But I know this. I'm on my 2020 was my contract year. So 2021, I deserve this supermax I'm about to get. You heard? And so that's the kind of energy I'm on. You heard? Like I deserve the supermax I'm about to get. I deserve it. And if you got my number, you ain't use it, lose it. And if you got my number, and you ain't tapping in the wild, lose it. When the contract come through, don't hit my line. You heard? That's the kind of time I'm on. Supermax ITM.
I'm not trying to buy my way in, but I got a check for y'all right now.
Oh yeah, that's what I talk about. That's what we talk about. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of that energy coming in right now. Like so, Miss Weintraub hit me up, asked me to do the little heritage trail reveal for the charter school. So like we just, we moving. So that's the energy. That's the energy I have, and then my energy is being more intentional with my words, because I was having a meeting with Kenny and Kaylin and Anna, and I was telling we was on the Zoom and two of the young ladies was on the call, but I was in the crib, and so I was telling Kenny that the parents that that are gonna buy in, he needs to have they need to have an intimate understanding of how things are gonna run while we out there. And then I got a text later on like, yo, it's women on that chat. I was like, yeah, babe. She was like, yeah, well, you don't need to be saying intimate. Nothing needs to be intimate. I was like, the babe, I'm talking to Kenny. She was like, yeah, but there's two ladies on the line. You need to use another word. And so like just like the pause game, it brought me back to like, you absolutely right. I need to be mindful of my language now more than ever, because when that supermax come in, everybody gonna be looking to say something. Everybody gonna be looking to take a little blurb, put a little spin on it, send it to the media outlets. You heard? Have me looking crazy. So I'm about to be intentional with my words, and I'm just prepared. I'm just prepared for this supermax to come in. You heard? Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today.
Hey, so it is.
Hey, I'll add this too. We just got they just hired a new head coach for the girls team here. They hired Kayla Dre.
I'm gonna keep my comments to myself, but
Yeah. So they hired, they gave it to the young black girl. She played here at Vero, Division I track star. You know what I mean? She could have played Division I basketball if that's what she wanted to do. Like right now, she's probably the best girls basketball player on the Treasure Coast. You know what I mean? But an elite trainer too. Like she trained a lot of the boys football players here.
You might have two state championship if she would have stayed.
What? Oh yeah. Had she stayed, we might have won. We might have won 4. We might have won 3 or 4. Yo, it's crazy. But that's a good thing, man. Young black girl. She's the head coach of the team, hometown. Team got a lot of nice talent on it. A lot of black girls. A lot of them she coached in middle school. So, that was some good news to get over the weekend.
Cool.
Connective culture clinics for the team this spring too. As always, you know how that go.
As always. As always.
Supermax, cut the check.
Cut Supermax, as always.
Hey, well deserved, man.
I've decided to donate all of my salary from 2021, yo. All my salary this year, I'm donating salary.
Valid.
Oh man,
language is key. You know what I'm saying?
Language is key. Yes. The devils are in the details. You heard?
All right, YB.
All right, YB.
What's good with you, James? How things up on the island, man?
Yeah, man. Same old. I mean, it's an island. There's only so many ways you could describe this type of life. But like I said, when I go on my runs, I got the water. It's crazy. So I know I'm very lucky, but it's quiet out here.
Yeah, I got to get the you just dropped some the new was it the gold paper you just dropped?
Yeah, the gold paper after the black paper.
Yeah, I got the black paper. I got scooped. I'm gonna get the gold paper today. So
I
what
need
about
to get
that?
both of them joints.
You been on your how you been feeling creatively? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
sometimes you go like you be like, yeah, life is what it is, and then you show up with like 50 new paintings, yo.
Yeah, I'm in that type of space. But it's like I got a lot of work, but I don't know how to deliver it right, and I don't even think it's my call.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of letting the universe do what it do. Honestly, like it's nice to have like contracts behind words now. That's the biggest change. It's like now I'm dealing with contracts. Like I can say that, and it's not a rap I'm trying to make up. So it's like you gotta be like, okay, you kind of legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I feel you.
But the creative process is the best part for right, like where I'm at. I just have confidence that I'm communicating to the right people for the right price point, and we just gonna build something amazing. Like the exchange feels genuine. If I put a week into it, I could charge $2. I could charge $5. It's the same thing. So now we having a conversation that I've been dying to have. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully other people do their own papers. You know what I mean?
True indeed.
Yeah. But the people around me is cool, man. Like mostly the people that surround me is like my inner circle, everybody healthy, everybody, trying to do the best they can with what they got. There's a few that's, my mom's is struggling. She had to learn how to like do a lot of things again, but she's bouncing back now. So like I'm blessed up, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, James, could you me and Kane was talking about it earlier, and when due to Corona and COVID, some of the things that that Connective was created on, some of the original pillars ring very true now. And when you spoke about bond and in regards to having healthy relationships, could you just give us a rundown on why you created the grid, and like what C3 connect, like what C3, like being able to have a C3, how that may be more important right now, specifically during the COVID, than it's ever been in education?
Wow, that's a great question for this exact moment, but that's a lot to give to. I
So
would
then
say,
just don't give them everything.
I would say this: the easiest way to explain the importance of bond in education. So you got to look at education like an arena. Different things work in different scenarios. There's strategy involved, you know what I'm saying? But the realest part of it is you just making a bond with somebody. Like, that's the realest part. That's what education is. It's like, oh, you trust me a little bit more, trust me a little bit less. Like, you want to learn, like you're the thing that just moves them to the next thing. So that's the bond. Like, we come together, boom, bounce out. We spin around for, you know what I'm saying? So that's like the easiest, most hippie way to explain it.
And would you say like that's part, once you realize that is what really allowed you to really make an impact in the kids' lives you came in contact with?
Oh, so now you asking for the like scientific.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, once you realize that, I'm not asking you to break that.
Well, so here's what it is. Every child operates off of 3 or 4 frequencies. Home is the first frequency. Like what happens at home, the rhythm of it, the warmth of it, you relate to things with that signature in your life moving forward.
Or lack
home,
thereof, right?
That's home still.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, yep.
But then you go off. Society says you go off and you become another person. That's another energetic signature. That's school. People have whole identity crisis in school. Like, they become completely different people. Like, they got to do a lot when they transition from school to home. We didn't have that like privilege of hiding who we were. That's one of the blessings of being young and black. You don't have a choice. You can't hide from who you are. But there's a lot of people that struggle with that. So school is another frequency. And then there was a third frequency, which actually Andy Snyder put me on to. Like, he solidified the idea when I was telling him about workshop. But the first energetic frequency is home. The next one is school. The next one is away. It's the third place. It's where school and home don't necessarily exist. It's like, where am I? I'm a whole nother. That's your third person. That's usually like the basketball court, you know, the gymnastics arena, the track, you know, the theater. That third place is where you get that identity that's so far from home, but it's really closer to the real you, which is what you're going to bring back when you cycle back home. Mm-hmm. So that's the energetic cycles that you go through. I mean, this is not like, this is documented. This is, I don't know if it's synaptic plasticity, but it does have to do with the way that you learn, and mirror neurons. How you learn from the people around you. We're exchanging, like, we're vessels for values and virtues right now. You know what I'm saying? So the schools of thought really guide things, and then everybody else is playing catch up with the schools of thought.
No, that was fire. That was a fire breakdown, and because me and Kane was talking about earlier, and even Glory, just about like how, you know, the educator, how one views the educator moving forward shouldn't just be solely based on if all the kids in your class are passing. Now more than ever, we should spotlight educators who are able to maintain that bond. That kid may be failing, but that kid is still coming to school. That says a lot. You know what I mean? If that kid is not seeing or reaping benefits of, you know, academia, but still finds themselves in a place of academia, that means the person that, you know, that they're connected to is a special person, and that bond should somehow be rewarded. There's no real reward for teachers who create great bonds if it doesn't translate to great grades.
Well, we could create something that rewarded educators in that capacity. It would have to be supported by the right entity.
Yeah, that's more or less what we were talking about earlier. Ian and I was basically, because I went back and I was looking at the 3C model. Just to add to the flavor of the moment, I added a fourth arena, which was the digital arena now. You know what I mean? I think particularly with COVID, that became a big thing is, are you in touch with these kids on the internet? Because if you were, you could have a bond with them, because that's where they're spending huge amounts of their time. You know what I mean? And so, but I was just looking at it and continuing what Ian just said. I was like, man, this would be something that, even when we were talking about some of these culture clinics, these adult culture clinics we're going to be doing, is just suggesting to these administrations as new ways to evaluate their teachers. You know what I mean? Because there may be a teacher out there, like we said, you may be looking at a teacher and you can see if there's a teacher who by some chance ends up with a class who, some percentage of the students just happen to struggle with taking tests. That teacher traditionally, may get a poor grade or, a poor rating, so on and so forth. However, if you could look a little deeper, and the teacher is also rating on their ability to maintain these deeper bonds, whether, like you said, it's at home. This is a teacher who's actively, she calls the home, weekly. You know what I mean? She emails the mom, whatever. And obviously they have the school bond that's there. Maybe they also have that other bond where he'll go and they participate, and in a way, in some way, to track that relationship, and then give the teacher credit for that, because that still says a lot. Where even if, particularly with the kids who struggle,
that's where the 21st century skills come in. That's where Leslie is the plug, because she got the language for that already.
Yes, and so
collaborating. That's one of the 6.
Yep.
Collaboration. You nailed it.
You know what I mean? And so, I guess it'll bring the full circle to what Ian said. It was just pretty, I guess, timely to see that come back. That was what Connective originally started with. I'm gonna be honest, in the beginning, I didn't understand it. You guys know it took me a couple years to really get the idea of what you were trying to do. You know what I mean? And synthesize it. And so in times we kind of like moved away, but then like when things got real and the system got stressed, it became the thing that we started on, became one of the most applicable tools that we were able to use, if not in an explicit way, definitely implicitly, in terms of the way we handled ourselves and provided services to the kids who were in our circumference.
Nah, I'm dead. I'm proud of y'all, man. This is crazy. I'm very proud of what it's become. It's dope. It's fire to watch. I'm like, yo, like people hit me up at my school. They're like, oh, we doing this thing with the connector that you started or you were a part of. I was like, yo, I'm gonna be doing it with you. This is fire to me.
Yo, listen, man, I can't. The Connective Summer Institute, yo, that's what's next, man. The Summer Institute and the Winter Institute.
Yo, they got people going to school in shopping malls. You think we can't get a bag off of that? Yo, we used to run the. Come on, man. West Farms, Meriden Square, stop. We good in the mall space.
Word. Buckland Hills.
Yeah, Buckland Hills. Oh man, funny.
I gotta go check. I gotta go check on my grandmother, man. So my arm tap out right now. But as always, it's a pleasure, fellas. I'll be hollering at y'all.
All right, prayers up, man. All right, King. Oh, let me swap that up. Good. Yeah, man. Wow, there's a lot going on.
Supermax, you heard?
Stay focused. Huh?
You heard? Supermax.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on in the league too. I haven't even caught up because I don't like. It was too much news real quick. I don't know what's.
Listen, I don't
I'm
even.
definitely out of the loop.
Yeah, I'm out of the loop when it comes to the league. I ain't gonna front like.
Yo, that's how you know life. That's how you know life is crazy.
Yeah,
Don't nobody know nothing.
I might catch it. I mean, I know LeBron is hurt. He sprained his ankle. He got a high ankle sprain. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, like, I might catch a recap. I might catch a 10-minute recap on YouTube here and there, but like, there's so much other stuff going on, like watching. And if I'm gonna watch ball, I'm probably gonna watch the March Madness if I'm gonna watch anything, because I don't gotta wait. I don't gotta wait an hour for the action to get good. Like, you know, it's only 40 minutes. That first half is different than that first half in the league. That shit in the league is like, okay, you guys are not gonna start playing till the third, midway through the third. All right, I'm gonna tap out. But yeah, I ain't really been watching too much. I seen a couple upsets in the tournament. I watched a little bit of Illinois and Illinois and Loyola. Which one is it? Loyola. I don't know. Another Chicago-based team. They upset them. Illinois was the number 1 seed. They were the number 13, number 12 seed. So it was a good game. I like college basketball because it's really similar, more similar in regards to adversity that we face on a regular basis as is applied to our kids. That we can take. I can take a college game and break it down and make it applicable to real life more so than the league, because it's adversity is not necessarily seen to the last 4 or 5 minutes, whereas there's a number of things in college basketball. You just talking about being on time, getting on the bus, you know, all of that are recipes for you winning or losing the game. It's not really like that in the league. You heard last year they were saying, you know, what's the name? James Harden wasn't. They were saying like he was able to run the show in Houston. He would come to the games late or whatever. He'll still drop 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you in college, if you come late to the game, that sets up you're probably not gonna have a great game. Like, from what I've seen, like, you know, if you're late to the game, then that, you know, players are waiting, coaches waiting. Now you got this stress. You driving and rushing to get there. You get there. You out of your groove for the rest of the game. And so, like, I think for collegiate players, it's a lot different. That's why I like to watch it, because to me it's just better overall.
Heard you.
But Glory,
Talk to you.
so next season as a coach, right? As a coach at the high school level, coming off of the pandemic, what are some things that you feel like you're gonna have to plan your season around to be successful? What are maybe some pillars that you're already thinking about applying that's applicable from what they've been going through, that is something that they could be the bedrock for them for next year? Like what are you thinking in regards to? Because to me, if you're a coach, you're an educator, and so just like teachers are getting themselves ready for next season, they're finishing out this season, but they're looking into next season. Like, what are you as an educator putting into place and preparing for next year based off what you've seen this year from your guys, and how you're going to use this motivation?
I think the biggest thing is just like tapping in and letting them realize like adversity, right? So it's just like this past year, you went through something that nobody has ever went through, but you were able to get through it. So now you get to get back on this court, and it's like you face probably the biggest adversity that you'll probably see in your entire life, going through a pandemic, right? And so using that to make sure that they lock in, and also make sure that they realize that at any given moment, things can change super quick, and basketball can be taken away from you. Like, growing up, you always hear like you can get injured and you won't play basketball. There was never like, well, you can have a pandemic and you don't play basketball. So now it's like, when this is now reality, don't take these advantages for granted. But also, it's like factor in the fact that now things of getting into college is now going to be even more difficult, right? Because you now have all the players who played this year, they get to come back next year. So there's less scholarships on the table. So that's after it's Division 1, 2, 3. You have kids transferring. You have the JUCO kids coming in. You have prep school kids coming in. So now you competing versus all these people. And so I'd say, like, if this is what you really want to do, this is now who you have to compete against. You're also starting to look at things where like it's now easier to get a scholarship in terms of what your grades are like. So the kid who might not have been qualified before grade wise, he now is qualified because of he only has to, if he has an NX in a class, he has to get to a 65. He does a couple of assignments, he gets to a 65. Now you're competing against other kids. So really making sure that you're dedicating yourself to whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's basketball, education, whatever it may be. And that is being really intentional with how you spend your time. You know, I talk to kids all the time. It's like, well, you're at home. What are you doing? And you're there all day. You tell me that you're tired of being online, doing online classes. You tired of being in the house all day because your mom's on, your pops on, you go outside because of the virus. Now things are cleared up. Why you not at practice on time? Why you not there early? Why you not going to get extra sets in? So being super intentional, like, all right, well, now you have all these opportunities. And so if you don't take these opportunities, then at that point, it's really on you for why you're not being successful.
So as a coach, because right, as a coach, you also like you're a crisis manager, and I know you've been doing some work with students in regards students who have NXs, trying to make them, trying to get them across the finish line to get this work done, because what a lot of kids don't realize is that though they have an NX and they may get passed, they may go to the next grade, they still going to be in debt for those classes. So no matter what, you still owe those classes, and if you don't want to face them and do them right now, they're just gonna accrue interest, right? And so
you're gonna face them either way. Ain't no way getting around. You got to face it.
And so, what are some things you're putting into practice as somebody who's been challenged or tasked with getting students with heavily NX grades to kind of start getting back towards being active? Because if a kid is he got NX and everything, what can you actually tell that kid that get the first assignment done? Or do you say do you work at assignment at a time? Like, what is your methodology to get these kids to get across the finish line?
Yeah, I think it's more so, obviously every kid has a different situation going on, whether it's they didn't understand assignments, whether they didn't have the resources, whatever it may be. But now at this point, it's like, all right, well, now we're back in the building, right? And so now we can spend more time working on these assignments together to figure out what it is that you really need to get done, as opposed to you just telling me that you're getting things done. So I think for us, one of the big things that we do at FDA is that we have study hall. It's like, it's not an option. It's like you have to go to study hall. Study hall, whether you have a 98 average or you have a 58 average, you're going to be at study hall. If you have a 98 average, guess what? You get to help the kid who has a 58 average now. And so I think now is just making sure that the kids know that legit, if you want to play and you have these NXs, if you don't have a certain amount of credits, there ain't no playing. Like, you just won't, like PSL says, no, you can't play. It's that simple. So
what's the number on them NXs? How many NXs can you have?
I'm not sure the exact number, but you have to pass a certain amount of credits per semester, similar to in college, to be eligible for the next season. So there's a lot of kids that think, oh, I guess I'm going to get these NXs and then I'm going to be able to play there. That's not the case. Like, same way in college, if you failed a certain amount of classes, I'm not sure what the exact rule, if you don't pass.
But a college is 2.5. A 2.5. If you play ball at the next level, if you're in high school, you got to maintain a 2.5 to be eligible.
But you have to pass a certain amount of credits. So if you're taking 15 credits, you got to pass 12 credits.
Well, yeah, right? I mean, 12 is a full. You have to go to school full time.
Right. And so similar to now in high school, it's the same thing with the PSAL. So you have to have a certain amount of credits that you pass every semester. So basically, you can look at a kid's transcript like, oh, you're not going to be able to play. It's not about whether or not I like you or dislike you. Due to what the PSAL says, due to your NXs, you can't play. But the great thing about these NXs right now is that if you have NX from the first semester, you have until June to make up these assignments, and they'll give you a 65, right? And so now working with those kids, and also letting their teammates know. I feel like you have to, like, as much as I coach, I have to hold people accountable. I tell the other kids to hold their teammates accountable. If you want your man to play, you know what NX he got. There's no hiding this. Go help him with his classes. And then also being real open and honest with parents as well. Like, listen, this is where your child is at. This is why your child won't be able to play next season because of these classes. Now we have all these assignments. Now how can we break down these assignments? Well, there's 3 kids on the team that all have NXs in the same exact class. Well, those 3 students need to be working together to get those assignments done, because there's probably another kid on the team that passed that class that can now help tutor them as well. So you have the coach that's helping, you have the students that are helping who already passed the classes, and then as a group, you guys can work together, and then tying in the parents to make sure that they understand where kids are at, because a lot of parents right now just don't know where the kids are at because kids are just telling parents anything.
And they can't operate. They can't. A lot of parents can't even operate the Zoom system or to hold their kids accountable. Don't know how to operate Google. All right, but so what about, you said a lot of things that I think is valid, but what about circling it back and talking to some of these teachers? You know, if I have a student that has NXs from first semester and he has 30 NXs, what are the the most important things out of those 10 things, out of those 30 things that he owe, that can justify him having an understanding of what you wanted him to learn or her to learn? And so can we condense those? Like if a kid has 30 NXs and we're saying that, we want you to one, be responsible and say, you know what, it's my fault by not having an NX because I didn't get the job done. I need to make these up while I'm making up what's going on right in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then if I don't, I have to also luminous over my head that if I don't make it up and I try and I don't pass, then I don't play anyway, right? And so I think that we also gotta reach back out to the teachers, like, yo, listen, how can we like make this a 2, 3, 4, 5 subject thing, or I mean 4 or 5 assignment thing, and condense it. You know what I'm saying? If you owe an extensive amount of work, I think it's up to the teacher, because this is unprecedented for everybody. It should be up to the teacher to be like, okay, well, let me condense this to 10 assignments or 5 assignments that you can get done that allow me to check my boxes, and also allow me to know that you have an understanding of the material, and then you can now focus on your other 5 or 30 NXs in whatever other class. Because if he has 30 NXs in your class, he's probably tapped out across all medium.
Yeah.
So, like, it's your responsibility as a teacher to keep that in mind, even without them saying that. And so I think that as coaches and parents or whomever, it's like, yo, all right, yes, my child owes, he needs to make it up, she needs to make it up. But also, like, this is not realistic. And then you also have to take into account, like, my child was going through COVID. No, like, in a time unprecedented for everybody, just like it's unprecedented for you, like, you got to be able to have some wiggle room. I think it's important to circle back with the teachers as well.
No, yeah, I agree. I think you have to work very close with the teachers to figure out what's the most important thing that these kids need to know. And you start to demonstrate that they've mastered the subject. Mm-hmm. And I do it all the time. Think about real life. Like if I owe $5,000 on a credit card and they close my credit card and it goes to collections, I can go call the collection agency and settle for less than that $5,000. Mm-hmm. So I mean, in theory, it's the same concept. So it's figuring out what really needs to get done. What are you really like? There's 20 assignments. All right, out of these 20 assignments, what do the kids really need to know out of these 20 assignments? You probably could have cut these assignments down to 10. All right, so now that kid has, between 3 classes, he has 30 assignments that he has to get done on top of everything else that he has to get done. He has to stay caught up in the current semester. And so it's like, all right, well, if he knocks out 8 of these assignments, 7 of these assignments, he does an amazing job on these assignments. At that point, can we now sit down and have a conversation about maybe this kid does understand this subject. He just went through a tough time like everybody else. He doesn't need to do the other 10, 15, 20 assignments in his class. As long as obviously he's still keeping up with the current work. And I think that's something that would work. But like I said, it's just more so having those conversations and being like super transparent with teachers, the administration, the parents, and then the students, to be realistic as opposed to setting this huge task that might not get done. And then for the teachers, it's like, I'm not a teacher. I've never had to grade a bunch of papers, but I'm just thinking about having to grade 30 old assignments. And so if I want to make it a little bit easier on myself and make life easier for everybody, I say, all right, you get 10 assignments done. You do an amazing job on 6 or 7 of those assignments. I'm like, all right, well, you know what you're doing. You went through some tough times because of COVID, but you're good now as long as you keep up with your current stuff.
I would task you to say, why even amazing? I think that's a high bar. I think, like, if you could do a good job. I'm saying, because I just think we have to, like you said, we gotta be intentional. Like they do an amazing job on 6 items, or if they show that they understand it and do it and have a what's amazing is an A, right? Passing is a C. If you can see your way through it and you understand it, then as an educator, I should be able to be like, all right, let's move along, because this is my issue. Like the Department of Education has moved and pushed kids through in the history of all of education. Kids have got diplomas and can't read, write, or do any kind of arithmetic or math. There's millions of kids like that. And so now, like this whole next thing to me is like, why is this like really a thing? Because you guys have been pushing kids through the system forever. And so now you're talking about, at first, because last year, if you had an NX, you would be passing or nobody was failing, right? But because that kind of made shit kind of wonky, they was like, yo, we got to kind of reel it back in, because right now it's out of control. And so now it's like, yo, if you got NXs, you have to make them up before said time, or you don't graduate and get left back. But it's like, why? You guys been passing kids before COVID. I can name on my hand 5 kids that I grew up with. 5 kids that I grew up with that, have a degree. We've been in the same class and they barely did nothing. Right. And so like, and I know that still happens to this day. So I don't understand, I don't understand, like, I understand because it's a business, but I don't understand why like people have such this hard line on like, yeah, kids gotta, if they don't earn it, they don't deserve it. All of that, like all of this tough talk now with these NXs, because it's like, but bro, have you been working in this system for the past 10 years? Nothing has changed. You said no kid left behind. You might have passed kids through, but you left them behind in the real world. So it's like I just don't like the PR move in regards to the NXs, and we got to be very mindful, like, because you said amazing, and I think yes, if you do an amazing job, you should pass. But if you got 30 assignments and you got 30 NXs and you do a C+ or a C worthy job, that should be enough too. Right? Because you've passed kids who don't have any understanding of these subjects prior to COVID. Kids have graduated with no understanding of mathematics, or where the decimal goes, or the long division, where to put the comma at, or the, what I'm saying? Like, but so now we like, oh well, if we can't, you're not gonna pass. We can't get this NX unless you don't make up all these. Come on, man, like that's cap. So I just think we gotta just be like intentional. And I know a lot of educators who tap in and talk to me about certain things. And this is what when we talk about transparency, I'm just like, yo, bro, get off your high horse. Like, you talking about, oh, they should have did this, and I'm like, yeah, I get it, but like, how important is this in regards to the larger scheme of things? And your subject is not more important than life. Your assignments is not more important than COVID. Your ranking in your school in regards to your principal, whomever who's breathing down your neck, is still not more important. And so it's like, you got to be able to operate from another space. And so like, sometimes people hear me, sometimes people be in their feelings, but ultimately, like, NX, like this whole NX conversation is annoying to me, because now we're talking about sports, kids who love sports, who have been having sports taken away. Now if they don't get these NXs done, they can't operate in a space that they're passionate about, that they haven't been able to operate for the past year. So now what does that kid do? What is he gonna do? What is she gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You didn't have sports for a year. Now you're telling me that because though I endured and I survived COVID, I didn't survive it in a way that aligns with school. And so now you're telling me I'm a failure. When ultimately, kids who've made it through this time are super resilient, and more so, they're probably going to pass in life in ways that analytics and data will not even be able to quantify, because what they've gone through is unprecedented. And so I think that if you negate to factor that in as an educator, the people on top, the DOE, like you missing a buck, you missing in a major way, and all of this educational revolution that we're talking about is also capped.
Man, what you have for breakfast, bro?
A shrimp quesadilla.
So what?
A shrimp quesadilla. It was from yesterday. I spent a lot of money on that, so I brought that in. I brought that in to work with me. You heard?
Oh, that sounds like an excellent choice, my man. I appreciate that. Smart move. That shrimp quesadilla was a smart move. Yeah, man. Facts. Well, that's an hour, fellas. Just giving a time check.
Yeah.
Yo, I want to know your thoughts. My bad. I want to know your thoughts on the Asian hate thing. What's going on? I want to know. I want to know your thoughts. I don't know if y'all know what's going on.
Y'all remember KO? He taught at School of the Future.
Yeah.
Okay, so after school, yeah. But I saw he was posting stuff on Facebook, and it was just disgusting stuff in Chinatown. You know, yeah, I ran into KO in Chinatown. One random. It was like a couple years ago. He had a big dog. He was just the king of the block. It was crazy. But he was posting stuff, man. People was attacking these folks. You know, just it just looked crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I saw it a little early. My heart goes out to the communities that got to deal with ignorance when it's just nasty when it's coming at you. So I feel bad for them, man.
Wow, but YB, you feel like you got a hot take on it. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like you got a hot take on it, YB.
Nah, I mean, first and foremost, I want to say hating on somebody because of their race or anything like that is disgusting. I felt some type of way at first because like the videos I saw at first was trying to pretty much depict or create the narrative that black folks was the ones attacking Asian folks, which in some cases was true, but that was like the narrative that they were really trying to push. And so I felt some type of way because I live where I live. I live right next to Chinatown. There's black and Chinese people that live in my building. You know what I'm saying? So it's super mixed. And I know I got close friends that are Asian, and I know their take on black people. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I can't go over one of my people's cribs because their grandmother is scared of black folks.
Of course.
And so that's when that narrative first started. My fault, y'all. I gotta pop open my door. But when that narrative first started, that's what the take I was getting at first. But like, you know, it was disgusting. I'm not gonna downplay how disgusting it is. And they had like a rally over here in my neighborhood, and it was beautiful to see black folks and Asian folks together. But I don't know. The narrative at first it threw me off.
Yeah, it definitely. I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, I don't have no. I think hate. I mean, to me, it's hate, unjustified hate. You know what I mean? Like, whoever's on the receiving end, you know, it's not what's up. It's a negative. But you find most people who are on the side that's giving it pause are people who are just upset, lonely at life. They're haters, and so it don't really got nothing to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like Derek's my sister-in-law. You know, we make fun of her all the time, being funny. But like when I tapped in with her, she was like, you know, she was really upset about it. And you know, I don't necessarily get upset about it when I hear things about black people, or whatever. But it was ill for me to see because I was like, dag, like I'm not around when I hear stuff about black people or shit like that. Like I'm not around people who really let it affect them. And so like it's kind of like I'm kind of like desensitized. So even when it started coming on, I was like, yo, that's crazy. But like that's, you know, we look where we live. That's kind of normal. So I wasn't like, oh, like taking it back. But when I saw somebody, you know, actual reaction, I was like, wow, like I didn't, you know. But I did let you know how desensitized you are when you live where we live, yo. It's bugged out.
I just want to also bring up the point. I hope this moment though creates like some type of unity with Asian and Black folks, because it's a lot, right? I could go through the history of just the tension between Asian and Black folks, especially because I'm so close to it that I'm like, yo, it's so real to me that I'm like, yo, this is kind of crazy. But it's just crazy to me that a year ago, literally, there was Nigerian immigrants that were living in China, that Chinese people were running out of China and like doing the same thing that's being done to them here. And it was because they thought the Nigerians were the ones that brung the coronavirus. And so it's just kind of crazy to me that it's just so mind boggling. Like, yo, how can you not learn from somebody else's experience? Like, how can y'all not learn from all this stuff going on? So it's just so backwards to me when I like actually think about it. I'm like, yo, it's the same stuff going on everywhere with different races and different people, and we're all marching and protesting. When I don't know, if y'all would have just thought about it and came together in the first place, none of this would happen. You know what I'm saying? None of this would happen. If y'all was marching with us back then, none of this would be going on. But y'all want to do separate things, and then now people, they separate it, and now people get like kind of aggy. Like I know some Black folks are like that are, you know, that are like, God, like they don't really care about the situation because they're not Asian. And so it's just mind boggling to me how people can't get it together and like see pat, like it's just crazy. I mean, and Trump had a lot to do with it too, saying the China virus and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I mean, and the shooter, what was on the presses was like the reaction to the I don't know if it was the commissioner, whoever. They made it seem like his soundbite was like the shooter was just having a bad day. You know what I mean? Like he was having a bad day. Like he downplayed it, and they were talking about like it's crazy how, like, you know, because he's white, he could have a bad day and kill multiple people, and he just have a bad day. He not be villainized the way that they do, you know, people of color, and so like that was a big narrative that narrative was more out there than, you know, actually, you know, the people that were lost. It started to become, wow, look at this, you know, how inappropriate the officer was for just saying the guy had a bad day, as if, you know, he just flipped somebody off, when in actuality he just took, you know, countless numbers of lives.
it's crazy too, because it's like I completely forgot what I was going to say, but it's just nuts to me that, like, I don't know, man. People just can't get it together. Like, you're doing the same. Like, even when we was talking about the South African thing last week, and how there was poor whites living, like, you know, in the ghettos in South Africa, I was just like, yo, it's just an endless cycle of power, and like, I don't know. It's just crazy to me. I can't wrap my head around it. Like, if we're gonna evolve as humans, we gotta definitely get past all that. But I don't know if we can. I don't know if it's something that I don't know. Like, it must be something I don't know. You know,
The people wasn't ready yet.
that's a fact.
They getting ready now.
That's a big fact.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's 2021. That's crazy. It's like,
When was the last mass shooting? The only thing I could think of is the DC sniper. But when was the last mass shooting
There was one.
Black folks? No, that Black person was a part, like, that was like, you know, doing the shooting. I know that Black, you know, I know there's, you know, things that going on in the hood and stuff like that. But like, when is the last time it was a mass shooting and it was a Black guy or Black woman leading that charge? Like, the only thing I can remember is DC sniper.
There's a lot of layers of society that we don't naturally vibrate with as Black people. There's a lot of layers like that, and I think like mass killings is one of them. I think we're traumatized enough. We'll carry the weight we're not into the mass killings, even if, you know, obviously our lives are tough. So, but, you know, who knows? It's cultures rise and fall, man. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Hopefully everybody can like get the message that they need to start listening to people who actually care. That's the big, to me, that's the biggest, the lack of direct mentorship, like real mentorship, not like it's part of your job title. The lack of mentorship, you lose out on so much of what you need to gain on the fly when you don't have a mentor. Like you can't bounce back quick when you don't have a mentor. There's nothing to like, oh, yeah. So you just learn how to be rigid, but even still.
A big fact. I think that's what saved me. Like I see a lot of there's a lot of people that had the same situation as me. You know what I'm saying? And we had the same situation, and I look at them all the time and I'm like, damn, that could have been me. You know what I mean? It's so easily. But I'm like,
it's what vibration, it's what you choose to focus on though. Because look at it like this. We always have amazing conversations, right? Like that's one of the things. Who cares if no people are watching this? Who cares if whatever, like 10 people watch it or 17? We still having conversations that like we saying a lot by saying a little. You know what I mean? For people who put it like this. If you come across this and you look like us, you're gonna be like, finally. Like
big
word.
facts. Nah, big facts. That's real.
So that's the part I choose to focus on. Otherwise,
Supermax season, you heard? Supermax season, you heard?
Supermax season.
That's what time it is. You heard? Supermax season.
Supermax. Nah, that's facts. I mean, honestly, I've been thinking about all the work. Like we gotta sit down. Like I was thinking about this the other day. Like we definitely have to sit down and think about all the stuff we did in 2020, because I don't think we even realize all the stuff that we did. You know, it's kind of crazy what we did in the pandemic and how to keep the kids involved and hitting them up. Like it was a lot. You know what I'm saying? It was stressful.
Yo, we got your man's off the click.
Who that?
I forget. We got Buddy that lawyer though.
Oh yeah. We got come on, man. Come on. Like that stuff is unbelievable. Like it's unbelievable. Like I have to really sit down, because it's like, you go through the emotional part, so you can't. Sometimes you don't really think about like, oh, I did this. You think about the emotional attachment, like, oh, this happened, and so it made me angry, so I focus on that. And we don't really focus on like, yo, we did a lot of shit.
Nah, I'm like, focused on that. That's what Supermax season comes from. Thinking about, I've been thinking about all the things we've done in 2020, and I've been thinking, like I said, that was our contract year. Supermax is ours, and when that joint come in, like I said, lose my number. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't use my number, lose my number. You heard? Because the super, like that's already done. That Supermax is coming, bro. And what made me realize that as I did with like you said, to think about it, like, what did we actually do, right? And then I was just like, seeing what people are doing now in the midst of, in regard to trying to get activity and try to get engagement from students. We did that in the midst of the storm. In the eye of the storm, what people are doing right now to try to incentivize buy-in. We was in the eye of the storm cooking up. Four burners on the stove top.
No umbrellas.
You heard?
No umbrellas.
No umbrellas. like 2020. If that was our contract year, this is our Supermax season, bro.
What made it? You know what made it the livest though is we just created the channel. And then when everybody came through, it was like everybody had a different flash.
That's what I'm saying. Like even that, like when we got all the Bulldogs together and everybody, we had so many people. We had so many people pull up, bro. Like there was one time it was ridiculous. I was like, what's going on here? Like, and even that, like me being at Future almost every day, me starting to helping push the alumni board, and now we seamlessly are now involved in the school, doing admissions, not getting paid for that. You know what I'm saying? That was work. I didn't even realize like what I was getting into, but I was like, that was work. That was like, you know what I mean? Even the teacher Phil that I was doing it with, he was like, honestly, like I get paid for this. he's like, yo, you're doing like you're a great guy. I'm like, that's good and all, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll take the great guy compliment, but yo, my pockets. What about my pockets?
Yeah. He basically just like, yo, you're a super indentured servant.
Yo, facts. And I like Phil. Phil's a good guy.
No, I'm just joking. But I'm serious.
Nah, but pretty much he was like, yo, like.
But that's what he said, yo. He ain't mean
Pretty
it like
much.
that, but that's what he said, though.
He was like, yo, you really doing this for free? Like, she's like, I get on a student because I did it with another girl named Athena. She's a current student. And he's like, I get why she do it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, she could get extracurricular, whatever. Like, he didn't see why I was doing it. He couldn't see why. He was just like, yo, so yo, if you want to miss a couple, it's all right. I was like, no, I didn't miss any.
That's why you earned your Supermax. The Supermax was coming your way, Kenny. You ain't gonna have to explain it to nobody because you earned that Supermax.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
The Supermax season, you heard Glory. You earned that Supermax coming your way. You heard?
That's
You know
a
what I'm
fact.
saying? You know what I'm saying? Your wings dipped in gold. You earned that. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yo, Supermax season. Word. That's how I'm giving it up. It's Supermax season, but don't get it twisted. Just because the money coming in, it's still pocket tapping season too.
Yeah, facts.
Yo, listen, don't get it twisted because it's Supermax. I'm gonna be on my high horse. Nah, Supermax, pocket tapping all at the same time. You heard? That's how I'm giving it
That's
up.
when the endorsements come. That's when the
Exactly,
endorsements
that's how I give it up. I
come.
want people to think that my pockets is safe. Nah, your pockets ain't safe just because I got the Supermax.
Big
Tap
facts.
it in.
Big facts.
I think it's going to be exciting to see which organizations want to team up with us.
I mean, it's gonna be. It's something gonna hit, man. I see it.
I keep
Come
thinking
on,
that
look at stats.
Go ahead, James.
Go ahead, my fault, coach. I was just, you know what I'm saying? I was just thinking about 2020. Then I was just thinking about why we get the Supermax. Like, who's going to partner with us moving forward? But, like, we already, the DOC, the NBA, they already come for us for curriculum curation. So I can only imagine Supermax season. They got to pay. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to pay pocket tap this season.
Big facts.
no, man, look. Somebody, okay, that sounds good, right? I'm with you, and that's like I'm with the bravado, but when we get that first person, like when LeBron is like, "Yo, I heard about y'all," like whenever whoever it is, right? They're gonna have that effect on it. Like they're gonna be like, "Yo, I'm trying to get behind whatever y'all trying to do." I'm gonna lose it. I'm going in. I'm gassed. I'm telling everybody, I'm gonna be the corny guy on IG. Yes. Hove did co-sign Connective. He did. I got
Yo, I mean, we need that though. We need that. We need a little bragging. Like I think a lot of us are humble to the point where we don't really showcase our because we don't focus on that, right? Because we just do our work.
That's a great
And so like we do definitely have to kind of boast and brag. Like I see a lot of guys that are on and they don't do half the work we do, but because look at all the things that I'm doing, everybody buys into it. And so like I guess we're understanding that now.
But here's the thing, this is how I see it, right? We already got everything, man.
Yeah, that's a fact. We just gotta put it together and make it pretty. Put a little bow tie on it.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just coming, and the more we stop, the more it comes.
I mean, like I said, we're starting to understand that as far as like getting more content videos out like that. Like imagine if we had a video.
Crazy, but all I'm saying is like I don't want to follow trends. You know what I mean? So
no, but I'm just saying, imagine we had a video when you brought Scooter Braun into the school that day, and when I was there. You know what I'm saying? Imagine we had footage of that. Like it would have been. You know, I don't think. I think it would have still been authentic.
I'm not gonna lie to you though. I'm not gonna lie. There's no way I could have predicted that Scooter would be as famous as he was. Like I thought he was gonna guap up because he was smart.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was gonna be selling catalogs for 200 million.
Man, like it's different. It's different. So like, but that moment literally changed my life. That moment of speaking to this guy, like, and me being like knowing who I was then, and seeing him and like, man, like I remember that was my attitude. Like, man, who is this guy? Like, because the way he came in, like it didn't seem like, you know, it didn't seem like anything special about him. So he came in, he was like, yo, where's James? Like, and it was like me, Ian, Ari, like we was in the lobby, and this white guy comes in, he's like, yo, you know what James Jennings is? And we're like, yeah, but who you? Like, he's like, oh, he's like, I don't know. He told me to come in and speak to some kids. I don't like that. And so we're like,
exactly what I told him.
So we're like, all right. So we're like looking for you, and then we finally get you, and then he put us in this room, and he's like showing us Justin Bieber. But before Justin Bieber was Justin Bieber, he was this little kid, and he showed us another rapper named Asher Roth. I remember this like it was yesterday, and he was like showing Justin Bieber singing to Usher, and he was like, "Yo, I'm telling you guys, this kid's gonna be big one day." And we were like, "Man, we don't see nothing special. He's just a little, you know." And like even with Asher Roth, he was like, "Yo, this guy sounds like Eminem. Like what's special about him?" And then next thing you know, Justin Bieber's everywhere, and I'm like, "Yo, that guy knew before anybody else knew, and he had his mindset. It turned me into a different monster. Like as far as like believing in myself, when everybody would laugh at me and whatever, and be like, "What you talking about?" I just believed in myself because of that moment of meeting Scooter Braun and like him telling us like, "Yo, this is the next big thing." And we're like, "You don't see it." And he's like, "All right." You'll see. So like those moments, I just wish if we captured those moments. I mean, I remember it, so it doesn't. I don't need it. I don't necessarily need it for it to be captured. But
that was before I knew the importance of video. I was just trying to survive in those days.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
I got 2 hours I gotta kill. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you want to come talk to these kids? That's 45. Get some pizza. That's another 30. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? By the time you know it, you almost home.
Oh man. And then like imagine we got the footage of you slapping the zebra cake out of Keith's hand.
Yo, I'm glad we don't got that footage. Words, I look like that. I could show how much I evolved as an educator from there.
Yeah, you can show that. Yeah, like yo, listen, I was slapping zebra cakes out of people's hands. Now look at me.
Yeah, it was warranted, but you know what I'm saying? It was before a game.
No, listen. I think Keith deserved it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and defend Keith. Keith deserved to get that zebra cake slapped out his head. He should not be eating zebra cakes before a game, even though he wasn't gonna play.
Yeah, even though he wasn't gonna. That's what he said. He's like, "Yo, but I ain't even gonna play, coach." That's not the point, man.
Yo, you had the other Ian moment. Ian, Tamar doesn't play basketball. Tamar was being security in the school, and so he was up in the gym, you know, whatever. And then Ian, had other Deitzer help me coach. And so he's getting at me because he's like, yo, you coaching soft. Like, what is this? He's getting tight at me. Like, he's getting really tight at me. And I'm like, yo, bro, like, what do you want me to do? Like, I was like, yo, go ahead, take over. So he's like, everybody sideline. And like, Tamar's just standing there. He's like, what are you doing? Get over there. And Tamar's like trying to explain himself. He's like, no, get over there. And I'm like trying to explain to Ian. I'm trying to tell Ian myself. I'm like, Tamar doesn't play basketball. He's not on, like, he's like, no, he's got to work hard. And he's going crazy. He's not listening to no logic right now. He's going crazy. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? So he makes Tamar run like 20 laps. And then afterwards, I'm like, yo, Tamar was it on the team? He's like, yo, why you ain't tell me that? I'm like, yo, bro. You went ham, bro. So
ever since E smoked that free throw, it changed him, yo.
Yeah,
it changed him. Ever since he smoked that free throw, it changed him. He be barking at when we had open runs. There's one time, I caught a call that didn't go his way. Yo, he was like, yo, you want to see me fail? He was like, you hating on everything. Like, you don't want to see me win. I wasn't gonna give him a pound. He's like, get out of here. I'm like, yo, he like, what with you, yo?
Yo,
we had to have a whole meeting on the side. Like, yo, when you do that, you make it bad for everybody else. Now everybody think they could just catch wreck like that. We had to have a whole intervention with him because he was like, "Yo, you soft. You ain't do that. You ain't do that when we was young." He's like, "Yo, bro, like it's different times. Yo, I can't." Yo, he's like, "Nah, if this was back when we was coaching, I'm like, yo, you talking like you so old. Like, yo, back in my day when we, I was like, you gotta relax, my guy. Like, it ain't. You gotta take it easy. He's a wild boy."
Shout out to Deitzer, man.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to and PBJ too, plant-based jazz. Shout out to
Oh, that's a better name. I like that. That's better than VJ. I like that.
Yeah, plant-based jazz.
Oh man, yeah, that was just. It's funny, man. I learned a lot from coaching. I learned a lot from y'all, right? Because y'all was so young and it was a lot of emotion for y'all. There was a lot of emotion, right? And there's a lot of emotion for me too, because it's a game we love. And so I learned a lot from y'all as far as really controlling the emotional side. Like when it, like I forget who said it. There was a quote like, "There's a time to be emotional. No, there's a time to play with emotion, and you don't want to really play." I forget what the quote is, but you don't want to be. You pretty much you don't want to be emotional. You want to play with emotion, but not you don't want to be emotional. And so I had to like, I learned that a lot from you guys, especially when I've seen like James and Ian coach Jasper and Mo. It was a whole different ball game. I guess we was more hard headed. I don't know what it was. I try to figure it out. I guess we was more like, you had the Charleses and we all had these big egos. And so it was hard to balance those, like, the Charleses and the Nias and the Ians. Like there's a lot of egos and a lot of everybody kind of wanted to be the man. So it was kind of different.
And all of y'all left the school and got clapped by 30 at least.
What you mean? What you mean? What are you talking about?
The senior staff game. All of y'all was thought y'all was.
Bro, we lost by 1 point because Ian missed the free throw. We just talked about this.
Oh yeah, it felt like 30 points though.
Felt like 30. Yeah, bro, y'all barely won. Y'all barely won. Come on.
1 or 100. It's out there that I don't got too many L's in SOF. I ain't got runs, all that. I don't really got that many L's.
Oh man.
Yo, but Glory, you know the key to winning. Playing on my team.
That's not.
Listen, Glory, yo, cut his mic.
I'm not gonna get. I'm not gonna get. I don't got that many L's in SOF, so that's all I want.
Oh man, I think I got the most game winners in Open Run history.
Don't do that, Kenny. Don't do that.
Yo, it's on camera.
The most game winners.
It's on camera.
In history.
Yeah, I had to save y'all, bro. When we played against the high schoolers that Wednesday, I had to save y'all.
That's what you going with?
I had to save y'all. Like if I didn't hit that game winner, we would have been there. We would have lost. It would have been a lot of trash talking. Like.
Yo, I appreciate that game winner. I do. I'm gonna just leave it at that. All right, because
yeah, that's a different combo. That's a different combo.
Yeah,
that's for a different live.
Glory, I'm gonna give you your flowers while you're here. You definitely haven't taken a lot of L's as a consequence of who team you was on. Shouldn't really matter. I just want to give you your flowers for winning. You know what I'm saying? So I apologize. Trying to. You know what I'm saying? That's you. You got a lot of wins. Who was on your team don't matter. Just like it don't matter who's on Brooklyn Nets. They winning.
Right. I was winning.
Oh, I like how you said that though.
Speaking.
But you about to owe me 100 cash though. You know that, right?
They just lost it. No, they about to be out. They about to. It's all right. It's all right. They're 7th to 8th right now.
We're gonna get that 8th seed.
All right.
All right.
Speaking of winning though, Battle in the Bluffs, year 10. I mean,
this ain't Wakanda forever either. You heard year 10.
Also want to throw out that I also have the most W's in Battle in the Bluffs history as well.
As do I.
Yeah, not on the court.
When you win, I win, baby.
You got wins as commissioner. You don't got wins on the court.
When you win, I win, baby.
Well, that.
I don't care. When you win, I win, baby. I got you. Whatever, how many wins you got, I got them too. And even when you got them losses, I got them wins too, baby.
This is like my official press release. I know I said this a couple of times before, but I think this might be my final hoorah. After I win this year, I mean, I guess I'll let somebody else start winning some games because I mean, I don't want people to start thinking that it's rigged or nothing like that. It's just sometimes it's tough to beat me. So that's
I would
Man,
say Glory is
July
definitely.
3rd.
This is
Like-
I would say this is the. You probably got the most. You got the most chips, right?
Yeah, it's not even close.
You got the most chips. You got the most MVPs too, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the official MVP account is.
You definitely. Yeah, that's so this is,
how many you got? How many MVPs you got?
I think officially I might have like 2, maybe 3. Yeah, I think the MVPs didn't start at the beginning of it. I think the first year MVP was that year
4.
year 4, year 5. So first year we had the MVP. I brought that back to the crib. But you know what I mean, so we're not really going to talk about that. We just think that the bigger scheme is that it's year 10. I think it's my last year after I take this W. More importantly, it's pocket
Year 10,
tapping season.
year 10, I might shoot up.
If you're not donating to Battle in the Blocks and connected, there's a problem. So we
That's a big fact.
address that on
we
circuit.
look forward to all the monies.
Yeah, facts.
Supermax season,
Facts.
pocket tackle season.
Supermax
Look out.
season.
Look out
I'm
for
a
the.
big.
Look out for the book.
I like the. I don't know. That should be a whole thing.
Now that is a thing.
Okay.
That is a thing, and it's time stamped on here. That's why I brought it to you guys on here, so it's time stamped. So anybody start trying to act like they running with the Supermax season, all right, you've co-opted it, but you know where it originated at. And then whoever does run with it, their pockets getting tapped extra heavy. You heard? Oh, what Supermax season? Pocket tapping season for you.
You heard it here. You heard it here. March 22nd,
Word.
6:17 p.m. Trademark copyright.
Word. So, in my closing thoughts, I like saying that. I don't really have no closing thoughts, but yes, I like to say my closing thoughts.
I got some closing thoughts for y'all.
Yeah, come on.
A lot going on out there in the world, right? So make sure you're getting your 100 and everything in a day so that way you can stay healthy. Because there's a lot going on.
And you got to be able to kill somebody with your bare hands.
That's okay, right?
If it goes crazy, listen. Let me expound, Glory, before we get off this. Listen, the reality is that people think that you could just get into a fight and you're gonna win the fight. When most fights, if they last more than 30 seconds and there's a fight to your death, you gotta have not only the wherewithal and heart, but the cardio, right? You gotta have the cardio too if it's a fight for your life. And at this point, if I get into a fight, I'm fighting for my life. So you know what I'm saying? Like my 100 a day, it don't just keep the doctors away, bro. You heard?
Right. I mean, 100 a day, go out, get your steps in for the day, drink some water. You know what I mean? You might spice it up, do a little fruit fast 1 day, 2 days out the week. You know what I mean? So that way, make sure you good. I mean, that's Glory's closing thoughts. Drink your water, eat your fruit, you know what I mean? Do your push-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, my closing thoughts is that for close contact attacks, the headbutt is a great move. I've had it in my arsenal for quite some time, and it once the vision is gone, you're in control of that fight. So you know what I'm saying? Somebody can just bang one of those, fight is over. You know what I mean? I'm just letting y'all know that's my closing thoughts of the day. Use your head.
Hey yo, that's a good concept.
Headbutt, use your head. Use your brain.
Hey,
All
earlier
right.
in this call, we were talking about being mindful of our language. You know what I mean? It's like,
Maybe that was teetering, but I wasn't out of bounds.
it's imperative.
You might have to review the play, but
Listen,
after the review, I'm in bounds.
Listen, all I'm saying is just be conscious of the words that you choose. That's all
Right,
I mean.
You got it.
Big facts. I guess my closing thoughts is love who you love, man. Love who love you. Go see somebody, man, that you ain't seen in a minute.
Right.
Shout them. You don't know how they do it. That's it.
That's real. Yeah. Just be a little nicer, right?
That's it. So you don't have to headbutt nobody.
Yeah.
Not a fact. If you don't have to headbutt nobody, then don't.
Try to take things less personal. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yes, sir.
Supermax season. I got a kufi for every bump on your face. You heard? That's how I'm on it. You heard? I got a
Yeah, I need a kufi, bro.
Every bump on your face. That's how I'm on it. I got you.
I need a Rasta kufi, man.
I got you. That's nothing. You heard? I got the plug. You know what I'm saying?
For all of those that like what you're hearing or something clicked or whatever, go to connectiveinc.org and donate. Damn.
Yes. We're gonna start a self-defense.
Just
We got a self-defense class. We cooking up the head bunt's not random. We got that the ITM self-defense in the works.
I just also, in addition to the headbutt, I just want to say, even though it's probably like 17 people that's going to watch this, so you're probably thinking like, why is he pretending he's talking to all these people? Because it does another thing after you watch it. You decide to share it or not. So even if you just go to the website, you'll decide to share something that's of value other than us talking. We really do a lot of work in education. We're in the space, and you'll see that from the website. So just go in there. It opens you up to what we're actually doing. And I think it'll help a lot of people.
Show love, nerd.
Inshallah.
Supermax.
Supermax. Supermax body tap, inshallah. That's the
I'll let y'all.
All right, fellas.
All right, y'all.
Later.
All right.